here with Larry Holland, and Mr. Holland is going to talk with us about Stamping Ground and what it was like growing up and some stories that he knows. What were you saying about gunfight?
Years ago, Billy Smith can tell you all about it. As a matter of fact, he's got the gun that they used in the gunfight.
Oh, way.
Yeah, he's got the gun. The cop got killed and another guy got killed.
That's
right there at the bridge in Stamping Ground.
The Southworth was the one with the gun, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's neat. I never knew where a gun went.
Yeah, Billy Smith got it.
That is crazy.
And, yeah, Stamping Ground used to be a right lively place. Back when I was growing up.
I see where people go into town and shoot up if they just mad at other people, shoot guns, and they go spend the night in jail, and they let them out the next morning when they cooled off.
Did you ever hear about the bank robbery? Did Dodo tell you about that?
Yeah, Dodo told me a little bit about it. Yeah. And I think JW said that maybe the tincher was from here or had people from here. The one that was in it, one of the boys that was in the robbery.
I just for my time. I just heard him talk about it.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah.
Now, were you born here?
Yeah. Yeah, me and my sister both was born in Georgetown up at the John Grace Ford Memorial Hospital, the old one.
Well, you're the first one born in a hospital, I think.
I could have been because my sister was born.
No, I mean, I've interviewed.
Oh.
Everybody else had Dr. Taylor, Dr. Mason, Dr. somebody.
Is that right?
At a home place somewhere.
Oh. Well.
But you was raised up down here.
Yeah, I was raised on this road about on the lot. Now, I lived in that brick house in Toll's Curve for a while when I was real little. And lived down on the, what was the name of that road? Long Lick, way down there in Long Lick, next to Devil Cummings' old junkyard.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Didn't have no lights.
I didn't know there was a junkyard down there.
Oh, yeah, Devil Cummings had a junkyard down there years ago. Him and Jimmy.
Jimmy Covington.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yep.
And when you say Toll's Curve, where are you talking about? On Skinnersburg?
The brick house going out of Stamping Ground there and go to the end of this road out here, make a left.
Mm-hmm.
And down there on the right there in that curve where that brick house is. It's called Toll's Curve.
I never heard that.
Yeah.
I know where McIntyre Hill is and lots of other places. I never heard of Toll's Curve.
Yeah, Toll's Curve.
When I think of Tolls, I think of Skinnersburg because that's, I guess, where Danny and them are. So I guess there must have been tolls out there too.
I didn't know no tolls over there. That house is the first house I remember moving to from Long Lick. I don't remember living in Long Lick. I just seen pictures.
Yeah.
But I remember living in that brick house. I fell off the front porch and broke my arm and my wrist.
So you really remember it?
Yeah. And it wasn't that high.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just landed on it just right.
What'd your daddy do for a living?
He built fences. Same thing as my granddaddy.
Generational fence builder.
Yeah, and I did too.
You did too.
Yeah.
And did they stay around here or did they travel like as far as you? You said you've been all over.
They didn't travel. I done all the traveling. Let me go get something and I'll show it to you real quick.
Okay.
See, it was not a small truck.
No, not at all. How many axles is that?
It's got just 2 axles, but it's all-wheel drive.
Oh, okay. I was going to say it's
and the weight on it weighed 1,800 pounds.
That's the driver?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
See what a straight line we built?
Oh, that's cool. Where is that farm at that you?
That's down in Franklin, Tennessee.
Oh, it's not here. That looks like thoroughbred fence, don't it?
This is Brentwood. Maryland Farms in Brentwood.
That's where all the celebrities are. That's where all the celebrities live.
Yeah. Yeah, Franklin and Brentwood.
Yeah.
I built fences for right next to Tom P. Hall down there. For I can't remember that guy's name. He was a country singer. And the Judds, they're producers. I built fences for them.
Yeah.
The Judds?
Yeah.
You get this year?
Yeah.
I was all over the place.
Oh, that's neat, Larry. Now you didn't have to go back and paint it, or is this y'all painting it too?
Now that's another guy painting.
Okay.
I done quit painting for them because I got burnt real bad. And I didn't paint no more. I had one of them paint out just blow up on me and put me in the burn water.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's been so many years, but she can't hardly see it no more. But it burnt his hand. I had 3rd-degree burns all across there.
Oh
whole hand
God.
second. And here, the face. Quickest shave I ever had in my life.
Yeah.
I had a beard.
You ever heard of Job in the Bible?
Yeah.
You and Job, huh?
Well, that weight, we broke the cable on that thing.
Yeah.
And I put an iron digger on it to hold it up so it changed the cable, and it come out and broke my back.
Oh my God.
Smashed my kidney. Put me back in the hospital.
I'm telling you, they can't take you down.
Well,
You ain't going. So, what'd your mama do?
Mama just was a
Homemaker?
homemaker, yeah.
Yeah, very rare do I see anybody doing anything other than being a homemaker back then.
Yeah.
People.
My grandmother, my step-grandmother, she worked at a factory in Franklin. I can't remember the name of it. She worked down there for years.
Yeah.
But,
And so your daddy taught you the trade.
yeah.
And then you worked for him, and then you went out on your own?
Yeah, I started working for Daddy when I was a kid. When I was like 8, 10 years old,
Was you paid labor or free work hand?
I was just free working.
He was earning from being a greenhorn.
Yeah, helped him build a barn over for Dr. Smith out there on Cincinnati Pike. And I was good at driving nails. I could swing a hammer.
Yeah, they didn't have pneumatic or anything like that.
Air nails like I had building fences.
Yeah. Now, when you went to school, you went to Stamping Ground School, or?
Yeah.
And was it all the way from 1st grade to high school still?
Yeah. Well, they wasn't high school then. They done built a new high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you got to go when it was already segregated, or past segregation. You all got to go with everybody.
Right.
And I've talked to so many people that they said that was really, the people who had to go segregated, that was really the only time here in Stamping Ground anybody was apart.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of was together all the time.
Yeah.
Now, you left out of high school, and did you go to the workforce, or did you go straight to the military?
I went into the military.
Right away?
Yeah. It wasn't just a little bit after that.
And you went into the Army?
Yeah.
And
I volunteered for the draft.
You volunteered?
Yeah. I didn't want to join. It meant you had to stay 3 years. If you was drafted, you stayed 2. So I volunteered for the draft.
You want to dip your toe in the water first.
Yeah.
And you went all by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Nobody around here.
Nobody with me. Didn't know soul.
And the record I found in the paper, you went a month before they even wrote it.
Yeah, I went November 15th.
And that record was from what, December the 17th,
I think.
It was a whole month late.
Yeah.
It goes to show you can't trust everything you read.
No.
Well, and so you went directly, did you go to Fort Knox? Or?
Yeah.
And then from Fort Knox you went on to straight to Vietnam, or did you?
I went to Fort Ord, California.
Oh.
And done my AIT. And then I went to Fort Lewis, Washington, and done some more training. And then we jumped on a ship, rode a ship to Vietnam.
You did a ship too.
Yeah.
And they say those weren't no Carnival Cruise Lines or Princess Cruises, right?
I done made up my mind. If I live to get out of here, I'm going to pay my own way back. They put me. I'm going to ride on a ship. I'm not riding on no damn ship.
I remember when we talked, I said, how long before you sat there and thought, what have I done to myself?
Yeah. Yeah, we crawled off the side of that ship like they did in World War II on them rope ladders.
Are you
in them landing
serious?
crafts, huh?
Right off the ship.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of shipwrecks.
Yeah, and then got on them landing crafts and went to the beach. They dropped that front end down. We walked off of it, and they handed their ammunition to us. Said, "Lock and load, boys."
What?
Yeah.
Just a pat on the butt and see you
That's
later.
basically it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And how long is training before they drop you and say sayonara?
Well, it's I think about 8 months, 9.
Oh, so you got
I got a good amount of training.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, do you just get a month?
See, I went up there with all them guys at Fort Lewis. They was doing all their training right there before they went. So I done mine in different places before I went. And I'd already had most of my training that they had. A lot of that stuff that I had to turn and go through twice that I wasn't too fond of because, it's pretty rough.
Did you say you went in 65?
Yeah.
That's what I thought you said.
Yeah, I went in 65.
And you left in 67?
Yeah. I left out in 67.
Now, did you have a family when you left, or you didn't have family until you came back?
I couldn't hear you.
You didn't have a family until you came back, though.
I never come back now.
That's what I thought. So, now when you left out, did you have a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Did y'all grow up together?
No.
No?
No.
Where'd you meet that?
Her. She's cleaning up listening.
Where'd you meet that one?
I met her in Seattle, Washington.
Oh,
Yeah.
when you were out in California or something?
Well, no, I was in Fort Lewis.
Oh, okay.
Fort Lewis, Washington, right there between
Oh, okay. I didn't know
Tacoma
where that was.
and Seattle.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so I met her there, and then we kind of, when I went to Vietnam, we split up. Of course, I'd already run into Diane up there. and I said, well, that's good enough. I don't care anyway. So I stopped saying Diane, which was a mistake on the way back home. Because when I got wounded, I got sent to the hospital. And I come back out, and I went back out in the jungle again, and I was having trouble out of the shoulder real bad.
Where'd you get wounded?
I got hit in the neck right here. I had a big hole below my neck.
By a stray bullet?
I like to bled out.
Oh my gosh.
And in my shoulder and my arm, I got a chunk missing here and a chunk missing there, and just different places. But,
Lordy. And so you survived that.
Yeah, and then
and they sent you back out for more.
And then having so much trouble out of it, they sent me in, and while I was in, I caught malaria.
Oh my gosh.
And I had a temperature of 106. They thought I was going to die from that.
They didn't give you all shots for malaria or anything back then?
No.
They didn't have it?
They took these little pills.
Oh, okay.
And then you're lucky if you didn't get it,
Mm-hmm.
But they said if they didn't give me my pill, the quinine tablet, I was going to die anyway. So they never did know for sure that I had malaria, except the fact that my temperature kept going up here every other day. And
was it really common? You'd be working with somebody and they go down?
Yeah.
And you're already hot, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
I bet it was miserable.
Oh, well, I tell you what, they packed us in ice. When your temperature got real high like that, they packed you in ice. They took me out and put me in a tub of ice, water and ice.
I wonder how they kept the ice going in that kind of weather.
In the hospital there, so up in the train. I wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
I was in the train.
So they flew you all out?
Yeah.
On the medevac?
Yeah. Yeah, I got the red on them, yeah.
Again? You frequent flyer miles, huh?
Yeah, I had frequent flyer miles.
And then they send you back out after malaria?
No, I went to, while I was there, the doctor looked at my shoulder, and he said I had a bunch of nerve damage, and they sent me to Japan.
Oh, gosh.
And that's where I run into my buddy Alan Calicut. He got shot while I was in there with malaria. He got shot through the shoulder. He went plumb through him on one side and that other. And run into him there and spent a month there and then come back. Went to Texas, Fort Sam Houston. I spent several months there, about 6 months, 7 months there. Run into one of my buddies from over there from Vietnam. So I got dating his sister.
Oh, Lord. You had women in all kinds of zip codes.
I just had them over.
Oh, Lordy. And so, is that first injury, is that where the Purple Heart came from?
Yeah.
What were you doing when you got that?
What was I doing?
Uh-huh.
I was walking back up point. Yeah.
They must have hit out pretty good, right?
Well, they set the booby trap up, and a buddy of mine was walking forward, and I was backing him up. He grabbed the gate. I started to tell him not to touch the gate. And then two gooks took off, and I turned around to shoot. And when he touched that gate, that thing went off.
Oh, no.
It blew me over a river bank, upside down into the river.
And you made it.
Good. I had probably packing 80 and 90 pounds on my back. And I couldn't get out of the vines, and blood was running down my neck into my eyes. I couldn't see. And they're shooting at us.
That's your main artery where you were.
Huh?
That's your main artery where it got you.
Yeah. So
you just
2 or
hold?
3 of them jumped in there and got me out.
Oh.
And finally they got Chopper in there and got me out of there, my buddy.
The one that touched the gate?
Yeah.
What's the least he could do? He didn't listen.
Well, he wasn't able to get me out neither. He wasn't in real good shape.
That's what I was going to say. Was he not in good shape either?
No, he wasn't hurt as bad as I was, but 'cause I was standing almost on top of that damn thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
So, now I know a woman over there, Ann Grace.
Mm-hmm.
She must have lived to be 100 years old before she died in a nursing home. And her mother there beside of her was right close to it too. That was Grace Knight and Liz Carter.
Want me to let him in? He wants in.
Huh? Mine, it just grows fast, but I haven't got enough left to donate.
I think you got a lot of hair. There's a whole lot of people that would love to have as much as you got.
Let me show you a picture. I lost a lot of my hair when I had that surgery. And I lost all that weight. And I lost the surgery. How do you pronounce your first name?
Channing.
Channing?
Uh-huh.
Channing.
You nailed it, Larry.
Huh?
You nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah, my hair left me bad. Let's see. Now,
You're so good. You're so fast on that texting and stuff.
Fast.
You are, I promise.
I ain't fast. I don't get my way around on these things very good.
I think you do real good.
Because
So your tattoo on your arm, is that the medevac? What is that?
That's bulldog.
Oh, I see it now.
Devil riding the bulldog.
I see it now.
See how much hair I didn't have back then?
See, I think the last time I saw you, that's the way your hair was. Yeah.
He always had it real thick combed back.
Oh, I used to have a lot of hair.
A lot of things change as you get older, don't they?
Yeah.
So after you were in Japan, when you come back, is that where you came back to the States from?
I stayed down in Port Sam, Houston. Show it to your mom. See if she remembers that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's who I remember. Yep.
You did have a coif of hair.
Yeah.
You did have big hair.
Yeah, I had a lot of hair.
Well, I think there's a whole lot of people with a whole lot less.
And here we was later.
Oh, she's so pretty.
And that's Diane too.
So that was the one that you went away and you ended up coming back and you married.
Yeah.
Now, how long were you back before you put a ring on her?
I got back in November and we got married in March.
You didn't waste much time.
She come in from Seattle. Her grandparents lived in Louisville.
Oh, okay.
And her her and her sister come in, and Jimmy McKinney wound up marrying her sister from Georgetown, and he's the one who sent that flower or plant to my boy when he died. That's the reason why I've been hanging on to it. So Jimmy's dead now.
Aw.
Jimmy died with congestive heart failure.
Yeah. Well, when you were here before you went away, and before you was married and tied down with babies and all, what'd you all do for fun around here?
For fun?
Mm-hmm.
We used to go to a few bars.
Oh, there were bars?
In Frankfurt, yeah. Wasn't nothing around Stamping Ground. Back when I was a kid, they had a pool hall there.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go to the pool hall all the time.
Now, Popo Wiley had the pool hall. Did he have it when you were growing up?
Now, John Moore had it when I was growing up, and Eddie Riddle had it. And I don't know about Eddie Riddle, but John Moore used to bootleg.
Oh, do you know how many people I've asked that, Larry? Nobody will come to tell me.
Well, so is my grandfather.
I know. Nobody will come to, answer for it. And
Yeah.
I asked his purpose because I thought it would be funny because
Yeah.
she's such a straight arrow. So they bootlegged.
Yeah.
And that would have been across from where the lodge is, right?
Well, down.
Yeah.
Actually, where the boutique used to be?
The Village Boutique?
Yeah. It was right in there.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But John used to bootleg, and I go in there and buy booze for Daddy all the time.
Uh-huh.
Daddy gets sick, couldn't go get it. So I go up there and get it. And I said, well, hell, if I can buy it for him, I can buy it for myself.
So you'd buy a little extra.
So I go in there and buy me a little bit every once in a while for myself.
You tell them the price went up just a little bit at that time?
Yeah. Yeah.
What they bootleg? Do they make moonshine or
No,
homemade wine?
They bought whiskey.
Oh.
And we'd go over to the old Buffalo Springs and get us a little water, and we'd chase it with water.
Yeah.
That's where we drank that.
And when I was little, I remember we would take empty milk jugs and we'd go fill them up down there for water. Yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I remember people doing that, but they screwed that all up. I don't like it down there. I liked it the way it used to be. They had them old watering troughs down
when I was
there.
Little, that's the way it was.
And the water running out of that big old metal thing.
Uh-huh.
But that black cemetery up there, Frank Young said that's where that water comes from, that black cemetery. Because you go up there and dig a grave in that cemetery.
Uh-huh.
And I don't care how dry it is.
Uh-huh.
You can make a mud ball in the bottom of it. And
so,
in the wintertime, you can't hardly bury nobody up there because there's so much water in the ground.
Yeah. So when I was going through the deeds room, you know where Uncle Wallace is, and Paul right there, on the back of Uncle Wallace's back there was a 99-year agreement or whatever between, it would have been Uncle Charlie Lewis, I guess. Yeah. And he agreed to let them run that pipeline from, I guess there's a piece of water back there, and they agreed to let them hook on so the distillery would have more water. Yeah. And I guarantee it probably went right through there.
Yeah.
Or at least a branch of it,
right.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. But it just stayed wet up there. I have dug several graves up there.
Oh, you dug graves?
Yeah, I have Johnny Tate dig graves all the time up there.
So that's how you knew about Popo at the cemetery?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, did Popo dig graves?
Yeah.
Did he really?
The cemetery.
Yeah, that's where I first met him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. That's neat.
Larry's a Mason.
Yeah. How many years have you been in the lodge?
I've been in about 45.
Really?
Yeah.
So you and Uncle Wallace is probably fighting elbows on that one.
Who?
You and Uncle Wallace?
Yeah. Yeah.
It used to be JW. We'd go to those fish fries, you remember?
Yeah.
And they'd say, whoever's been in here 25 years, they'd sit down. And then it would always be Morton Judy and JW Riddle and Uncle Wallace. They'd be the last one standing.
Bobby and JW they was in probably 10 years longer than I was.
Okay.
And I never lived to hit my 50 mark, but they've been in the lodge up there. I hate to see that lodge go away, but I'm just not able to go up there and sit around and do like we used to do.
Mm-hmm.
And neither's Ralph Knight or Tom Butler or Buddy Cole. All those guys is about gone.
Cody told me when I was coming out here. Well, I told you he used to go with Nelson, which is Billy's daddy,
Yeah.
and then Nelson told him that he didn't need to spend all his time there when he was young. He said that's what you do when you're old, and he said you spend your young years with your family. But Cody was, when I told him who I was coming to sit and talk to, he told me that there was another Holland that used to be on Main Street, and he said I wonder if they're related. And when he described it, it sounded like Buddy Coyle. And
Bill Holland.
yes, that's what he said. And I said, I don't know. He said, you just did his genealogy. And I said, I didn't see him, but I'll ask.
Yeah, it's Bill Holland.
That's what he said. So are you all cousins? Or
No, we ain't no kin.
I wonder, he's probably related to Ted then, I bet.
No, I don't.
No? 3 different Hollands.
Yeah. Well, actually, there used to be another Bill Holland in Stamping Ground. He lived in that brick house in Told Curve. And I was a friend of his.
Uh-huh.
And he run all the X-rays. He was head of the X-rays up there in the VA hospital.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Radiology?
Yeah. Oh, what name?
So when you went into the lodge down here, was it really active and
Oh yeah, yeah.
it was lively?
Yeah.
Were they really involved in the community?
Yeah. Used to have I can't find it now. Used to have fish fries, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I remember the fish fries being out to Uncle Wallace's a lot.
Yeah.
But everybody I interview, they always say that the community was so much more active in events and stuff.
It was.
Do you remember it that way?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, ever since I could remember, there used to be a bank in Stamping Ground. There ain't no bank no more. You know, that's how bad Stamping Ground got. There ain't a decent grocery store. The dollar store down there, they won't stock their stuff.
Well, I stopped there before I came here because I wanted to get a bottle of water, and they were closed.
Yeah. I got some Cokes over there if you want Coke.
I know, I appreciate it. But when you were my age, there were several groceries, right?
Yeah. There was John and Clemmy Hall, John Raymond Hall, John and Nanny Hall, and let's see, there was all these little country stores had groceries in them.
Yeah, that's what Miss Fanny told me. There was Long Lick, Skinnersburg with the McDowells.
Yeah.
There was
Miss Glass over on Skinnersburg Road.
Okay.
Well, I guess she was the last one to close up.
Really? The last little family-owned one?
Because I bought sandwiches there. I guess, back in the 90s when I was helping Johnny Sutton build a room addition on a house. And I went down there because it wasn't about a mile away. And she still made sandwiches. Old one was still open.
They sliced meat and everything.
Sliced the meat.
Cold cuts.
Boneless sandwich had meat at the end.
Wow.
And it ain't like these things you get around here anymore. You breathe through them.
Like Fisher's bologna. Yeah. That was probably off of actual.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah, big old block of bologna.
And there used to be one right down there, right on the county line on Cedar Road.
Now Roby's had one, but was it Miners Branch? Probably straight that way, Owington Road.
Roby's?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. What Roby?
Marvin, I think.
Marvin Roby, the guy that runs the post office.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was right there on the Long Lick Road.
Oh, okay.
As soon as you turn right on Long Lick, you go to high school.
Oh,
turn
okay.
left, and it's right there in the
Well, I don't know why I was thinking it was that way.
And McDowell's was right down the road a little ways on the right. But there used to be one right there ahead of Cedar on the left, beside of Union Ridge. There was a road run up there Union Ridge.
Have you?
And there was an old store there. School bus used to stop there.
Was there the people that ran that one, I'm trying to find where these Lees, L-E-A is the last name.
I don't know what the name of them would run it. Billy Smith might be able to tell you.
Okay. I'm hunting for them because I got a picture of them.
They,
And it says on the back, and they had a store, it was called Groceries and Not, painted on the window. And nobody's been able to help me with where that's at, but it had to be here because they're listed on the census here everywhere.
Yeah, well, it could have been that store.
Maybe.
Now, there was one in Elmville, too.
Elmville.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know what Elmville was until about a week ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
Daddy used to go there.
And I didn't know that it was this whole little place.
Yeah.
And I called Uncle Wallace to see where it was. And Anna Loy said that's where she come from. She said it's exactly like 7.2 miles from her.
Yeah.
We were trying to locate it. I didn't know that Cedar Grove Baptist used to not be where it is now.
I know.
I didn't know that.
See, I got married in the old church.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nobody's been able to tell me about that.
Yeah, I got married in the old church, Old Cedar Grove Church.
What happened to it?
Well, they sold it to somebody.
Okay, so it didn't like blow down or anything.
No, they sold it to somebody. I don't know if it's still there or not, but they made it into a living quarters.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, that's where me and Diane got married.
I didn't know because my whole life, all I remember, at least my, adult cognitive life, it was where it is now.
Right.
And it's more of a, it's not a very small run
It used
church
to be a real
now.
small country church.
That's what I like.
Didn't even have had an outhouse for a bathroom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, when you were growing up, did you all have indoor plumbing?
Nope. Are you kidding me? I never had indoor plumbing. I guess the first time we had indoor plumbing was when I lived in the old mess apartment when I was probably in the 4th or 5th grade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's the first time we had indoor plumbing. Maybe older than that. I was older than that when we lived there.
Now, I told you about who you say sassy, having the double seater like Dodo told me about, and you said you was familiar with the double seater. The two-seated outhouse.
I called them two-holers.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Memo had a two-holer.
Now, is that for when you have so many kids that they're going to fight?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it was for doing your makeup over the sink, though,
No,
right?
you didn't want to do your makeup in there.
Now,
You kind of wanted to have a clothespin.
Yeah? Now, was that with Sears and Roebuck, or did they have Cottonelle back then?
You used Sears and Roebuck catalog. You tore your sheets out and sat there and wadded them up.
I always thought that Papa just made that up.
No.
Yeah, you crumple it until it's soft.
Yeah, before that, they had corn cobs.
Oh, God. That's awful.
Had some red ones and white ones. You
No.
use the red ones first and check yourself with the white one.
I bet that was hard potty training kids to an outhouse, wouldn't it?
Probably.
I bet it was.
I don't remember my potty training days.
No, but how many kids did you come from? How big was your mama's litter?
Just two of us.
Oh, that's
Me and my
the
sister. And that's
least
her
I've
on
ever.
the right-hand side in the back.
Well, that's not, around here, that's small family.
Yeah.
Your mama was wise. She had one of each.
Yeah, they're just two of us.
How far apart?
Well, she was 4 years older than me.
Oh, so you were the baby.
Yeah. Yeah, she's dead now. She died of colon cancer when she's 69. And Daddy died when he's 69. My uncle died when he was 69, and my cousin died when he was 64. And they all died with
I was gonna say, you
cancer.
is still here, and you is over 69, so you done passed that
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, but I was 60 when I had my cancer. I had my cancer 9 years before everybody else did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I was lucky. The VA caught mine. When I turned 40 years old, I found out I had what you call Barrett's esophagus.
Mm-hmm.
That's close to having cancer. They went down my throat and checked me when I was 40. And I've been on medicine. I went to Johns Hopkins up in Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland for several months.
That's the best of the best.
And trying to save my butt. Finally, it turned to cancer, and I had to go to Louisville and have it cut out.
house?
Yeah.
And it's dangerous. Dangerous service.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, the VA, they didn't like to do them because they lose so many people.
Right next to that chest.
You've been through a lot.
Yeah. You should see it's a paper, like toilet paper.
Yeah, you're hard to kill.
That's what everybody says. They said I got more lives than cat.
You do. It's a blessing, though. You think do you think any of that is attributed to being over there and maybe malaria drugs or whatever you was soaking in?
Just tough. I had to grow up tough. You know, I grew up, it was tough times, and when I went in the Army, it was tough. We went into an area that was real tough. You know, you're lucky to make it out alive, especially with the group I was with.
Did you have to get in the waters?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we waded the rivers and everything over there. You come out there, them creeks, you come out there, leeches all over you.
Oh, no, I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
But was it so hot? I mean, I know that's a horrible thing to like sit in wet boots and everything, but was that water a relief at all?
No.
Because it looks
makes your feet that much sore.
Really?
Yeah.
Just the blisters and the wet?
Yeah, a lot of guys had be put in hospital and feet would just didn't even look like a human feet. They just shrivel up. You were getting water in your hands.
Oh, yeah.
Well, imagine your feet 10 times worse.
And they probably peel, and then you're open to catch whatever's in that water.
Yeah.
That's awful. I bet as soon as you got home, you went around barefoot everywhere you could.
No, I didn't go barefoot, but I'll tell you what. I sure took a shower every day.
Did you?
Because your clothes about rot off of you. Sometimes it would rot off of you over.
Oh, my gosh.
So, it wasn't a very pleasant
Was
place.
you ready to get home and eat some fried green tomatoes? Were you ready to get home and eat some fried green tomatoes?
Yeah. Yeah. I love fried green tomatoes, but I can't stand up long enough to fix them all. You know, do all the process you got to do.
We'll have to go to Ramsey's.
Go to GFS?
No, we'll go to Ramsey's or something. I done told him. Yeah, I told him about my experience with fried green tomatoes. We're going to get over it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, what was the food like when you were over there?
We ate sea rations. It was made in 1943. It was made they made 3 years before we was even born. Most of us.
You was eating 23-year-old food?
Yeah.
Was it MRIs?
Oh
no,
my
it
goodness.
was sea rations.
Oh my.
They didn't have MRIs until later on.
No.
Yeah, it showed right on the box when it was made, 1943.
Did you all have any downtime for entertainment over there?
We, every so many weeks, we come into base camp and relax, drink our booze.
Well, I see sometimes they bring people in for, rally the troops concerts or celebrity or nothing.
We had to
Not-
go.
You didn't get to see Bob Hope?
No, I didn't get to see Bob Hope.
No Maryland, no nothing
No,
like
I
that.
didn't see none of them people.
Oh.
Somebody had to guard them. So we stayed out in the bush and kept the monkey off their back.
Yeah. Did you ever talk to God so much in your life?
He lived down the street from me when I was
That was pretty frequent.
Yeah, they say people that say that they, question, they say put them in a situation like that and see how close they get.
Right.
Well, when, before you went over there, I'm guessing, did you have your first car before you went or when you come back?
My first car?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had my first car. I had 2 or 3 cars before I went over. Shoot. I run these roads like a wild man. I had my first car when I was 15 years old.
I bet you were driving before that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was driving. I'm 9 years old.
You was probably helping drive post. You was probably helping drive post, weren't you?
I've been I was turning a few of them out of the fence road.
Yeah. What was your first car?
It was an old 53 Ford station wagon. It was dark green and pea green, 2-tone. It's the ugliest thing you ever seen. and it smoked to high heaven. You drive to Georgetown back, you had to change spark plugs in.
Did it have seat belts or no?
No. They know the cars when I was a kid growing up had seatbelts.
The ones that die would always fix. They never had seatbelts in them. I just wondered. Now, how much you pay for it? You remember that?
My daddy gave it to me.
Oh, it was a hand-me-down.
Yeah, that was a hand-me-down.
What was your first one that you was proud of?
My 56 two-door hardtop.
Ooh.
Alan Martin wrecked it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
How'd he do that?
Driving too fast. Rounded that curve up there at the tar store.
Yeah.
He come out of stamping ground wide open.
By the Ashland
Yeah,
oil.
we passed that store. And we must have been doing close to 100 miles an hour.
Good Lord.
And he got sideways. We went down over and crossed there where that old set of scales used to be and rolled it down over that hill.
And you still hear no seatbelts?
Yeah.
You are a
Told
cat.
us out.
Oh, my goodness.
Alan Martin, our Alan?
Yeah.
See, I told you there's one.
Yeah. And y'all was sober?
I was.
You were?
Yeah.
Then why was he driving?
That's what we can't understand. We were three of us. Billy Smith, me and Alan was riding around driving Billy's car.
Uh-huh.
Alan and Billy both got drunk.
Uh-huh.
I drove the car. I didn't participate.
Uh-huh.
We got out, they got out to pee, and I heard the air leaking out of the car, so we come home real quick, because Billy didn't have a spare.
Uh-huh.
We pulled in, he lived up there in the house up there. It's an old trailer park.
Parker's?
Yeah. And my car was sitting there, and Alan just got in the driver's seat. Well, I didn't think nothing about it.
You went with it.
I just got in the passenger side, and Alan started up. You can ask Billy Smith about it. He heard us. Well, we went all the way through Stamping Ground wide open.
And how old were y'all?
I was like 17.
What'd your daddy say?
Daddy never did know that I didn't wreck the car. He got mad. And Billy seen the car the next day, and it was sitting over beside of Daddy's house with the top all caved in.
Mm-hmm.
Windows all broke out of it. And he thought we got killed. And he come up the road and met us riding. You know who we had riding with us in Alan's car? Mary Francis was riding down the road with him.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
She's a wild one.
Yeah. Well, she wouldn't have been with us if she wouldn't have.
Oh, Lord.
You never did tell me these things when I was little.
Huh?
You never told me these things when I was little.
Well, I didn't think you needed to know.
Mary Francis.
Yeah.
What would she have been then?
She'd probably be 78.
No, how much, or were y'all the same age?
No, she was a little bit older than me, I think. Maybe a few months, maybe a year.
Yeah.
I think she might have been 78. I don't know. She did the way she.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cancer.
How long ago she died?
Don't better ask her. She knows more about it than I do.
I'll have to look, but there's probably so many in that litter that they didn't even know one was out running.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you said it was on this road, is this where your home place was?
Yeah. I drove up on this road.
Now, was it on this piece of property?
Huh?
On this property?
No, it's on over the hill here.
But not far.
Not far. I bought this after the tornado. I said, I'm getting the hell out of Stamping Ground. I bought this and built a basement house here. And I lived in that thing for.
I called Di last night and told him I was coming to see you. And he said, is he still in the ground?
Who?
Di Leonard.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, is he still in the ground? I said, I don't know till I get there.
That's the first thing I told her. I said, I remember.
Yeah, and Mom remembered the same thing.
Yeah, I tore this top off his house and built this house on it.
That's very nice.
About 25 years ago. So, me and Mark Sutton laid all this floor.
Okay.
And I dynamited the basement out myself and laid it all out, poured the footers. I done most of the work,
Yeah.
Because I couldn't afford to hire nobody to do it. I done it.
That's the way to do it.
So.
And you'll take care of it forever because you work too hard to ruin it.
Yeah. So me and that husband got a divorce that I was married to last after 23 years.
Oh, wow.
And I got this big house by myself. Got 3 bedrooms back there and a bath, and a big bedroom over here and a big bath.
Who you married?
Paula Jameson, you don't know her.
It's not Jameson's from here.
No.
Yeah. I did my research because I was intrigued by that last name. But your first wife, you were married to for how long?
14 years.
And then you had intermission, and then you met your second wife?
Yeah. And then I had an intermission.
Well, some people love to be in love.
Anyway, it wasn't my idea to get married. None of them.
Tell
I
it
don't know
like
why
it
I
is.
did.
Well, excitement, right?
Huh?
Excitement, right?
I reckon.
Or I had one of my cousins tell me they had a weak moment.
Yeah.
I like that. I thought that was a good one.
I had a weak moment. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I think we had this conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's lucky end on that one.
Yeah.
You were talking about the Ashland station.
Yeah.
Who owned it when you were coming up?
I don't know who owned it, but Bobby Banks used to run it.
Okay. Now, when they had the Ashland station, was it just a pumping station, or could you go in and get knickknacks?
Well, you could go in. They had a cooler, and you could get bologna sandwiches,
Okay.
And it all depends on who was running it.
Mm-hmm.
And now, see, Bobby Banks run it. Freddie Robinson run it.
I hear that name the most.
And Lynn, R.C. Lynn, or Jerry Lynn, one
Jerry
of them two
Lynn.
run it. I
Okay.
believe it's Jerry.
Uh-huh.
They run it.
And nobody bootlegged out of the Ashland station?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Because I thought that's a first chance, last chance right there, isn't it?
Did he bootleg? I never did know he bootleg.
I saw this, and I was going to ask you about this. This is the only ad that I've found.
Sam's Restaurant.
Well, the one above that. That's for the Ashland.
Ruth's Ashland.
Have you ever heard of the...
Russell Ruth's. Yeah, the Ruths used to run it. Russell Ruth and them run it.
I took a picture because I thought, well, if anybody know, it'd be you.
Yeah, Russell Ruth used to run that.
Okay.
And there was 2 other boys run that thing too. I can't remember the names.
They advertised ice cream first.
Yeah.
They must have had a heck of a good Sunday. But it says hot sandwiches, and they did a record.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the Ruths when they run it. I forgot about them. And Ben, you talked about it. There were 2 brothers that run it.
Well, when you said Ruth in that room, that's why it reminded me to show you that picture.
Well, that was R-O-U-T-H.
I gotcha.
Yeah. He was from North Carolina.
So there was a Ruth family here.
Yeah. There's a lot of them boys from North Carolina. I was the only Kentucky boy in the whole company. I was 165 men. I was the only one from Kentucky.
In your whole company?
And they called me Hillbilly.
Oh.
That's my nickname.
Well, it could have been worse.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't mind it. I was a hillbilly.
Did you ride on your helmet?
No, I didn't ride on my helmet.
Mm-mm.
No.
I've seen a lot of people with, the riding, or they'd draw, or they'd keep a picture in their cap, or...
Well, the main thing I had up there was mosquito repellent.
You're so worried about the malaria, huh?
Yeah.
I never knew that was such a thing.
Oh, yeah, malaria was rampant over there.
Yeah. Do you still have your tags?
My dog tag?
Mm-hmm.
I got one of them. Diane had one of them, and I guess her husband threw it away. I don't know. She told me it got lost. So I would say one of her husbands threw it away.
Well, they'll have their day.
Yeah. Well, one of them, the one that done it, already had it. He did.
Okay, so besides the station and the pool room and the groceries, was there restaurants around here?
Well, the restaurant was in the pool room.
Oh, okay.
You used to go in there and get a bowl of chili for $0.25 and a drink it was a nickel, I think.
Oh, wow.
You'd go in there and eat 30 cents.
that's the deal. You can't buy a slice of cheese for 30 cents.
Nope.
So that's a pretty good price. Now, in some pictures, I see a hair shop next door, and I guess it was a barber shop.
Jada Ball run the barber shop.
Uh-huh.
And up there, right above the forestry building.
The Ruetan now, right?
Yeah, right above it. There used to be a building there, a house, and there was an old man that cut hair by the name of Marshall that cut hair there when I was real little.
Oh, okay. I've never heard that.
And he went out. I guess he died or whatever. Jay Duvall started cutting hair and stuff.
Now, he started out at the bottom down there, and then he went to...
Jay Duvall started off up on top of the hill, and then he moved to the bottom.
Oh, okay, so he started out at where Dale lives, then.
Well,
Seabury?
No, he started out up right above the Rotan building.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Okay.
I wouldn't swear to it, but
I wasn't here. Your word's the
I know you
gospel. Your word's the gospel when it comes to how things were.
I wouldn't swear, but I know Mr. Marshall used to run a barber shop there.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't. Daddy always called Jay the ball snip and clip. Because that's about all they do is snip it and clip it, you know, and you got what you got when you walked out there.
Yeah, you couldn't go in and show a picture and say, make me look like Elvis. And I saw where there were several other stores. Like there was an electronic shop. There was like a shop that had Maytags, and then there was a casket store with a furniture store or something.
I remember that. That was Mr. Cassidy. They had an elevator that went up top.
Oh, no.
Furniture, yeah.
I didn't know there was an elevator.
I used to hang out in there with Joe May all the time.
Oh.
Huh?
I forgot about him.
Yeah, old Joe May.
Who was the man
I can't hear you, huh?
Who was the man who used to come up Riley Street backwards? Delbert Covington.
Delbert Covington.
Was that him that would drive up Riley Street backwards to
I
the
think
fence?
so.
There was somebody that drove backwards. Is it so
Delbert
he didn't have
Covington.
to back out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's a
He
dead
went right
end.
He took care of the farm there.
Oh.
And he'd drive backwards right up through the fence.
I wouldn't swear to it, but it might have been
Yeah,
Delbert.
it was Delbert Covington.
Yeah.
He lived down the road.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you went into this place with the caskets and the furniture.
Oh, yeah.
And now were they around until the tornado?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was. Now, I don't know whether the store was open or not, but everything was there.
Okay.
But I don't know whether that store was still open or not. I can't remember.
I can do that. We burn wood. You got it. Okay.
I don't put much in my...
Oh, I load ours to the brim.
Well, burns more wood that way.
Well, ours is one of those that goes through the central air, so
Yeah.
it can burn coal. I learned the hard way that it doesn't take much coal. I remember when we first got our first load of coal, I threw in, it was probably the size of a baseball, and I called Cody and I said, it's glowing right now. And he said, well, how much did you put in? Just a little piece with the wood? And I was like, oh yeah, just a little piece. And I'm sitting there trying to get it out. When you were growing up, is that how you heated?
We heated with coal wood.
Now, with the coal and the wood, I've heard that there was a place that you could go at the bottom of Calvert Street where the old depot was. Is that where you would go to load up on coal and stuff?
You know, I don't know where Daddy got his coal.
Oh, really?
Daddy used to haul coal out of the mountains.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know whether he bought our coal with the mountains or threw a little off the load.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Or what he done, because I just don't remember. You know, when we lived down there in Toad's Curve, I don't remember what we burnt.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's coal because I remember the coal pile being there.
Well, some people remember fuel and the smell, and some people had the coal. But yeah, I don't know anybody that grew up with central air, any kind of heat or anything like that.
We never had air conditioning. I never had air conditioning, so I built this place here and put air conditioning in the basement.
Oh, really?
That's the first time I ever had any air conditioning in my life.
Mom grew up and they didn't have air. They had the window unit. And that was major.
Well, we didn't even have window units. We just had, you open your window and that was a unit.
Yeah, hopefully there's a breeze.
Yeah, hope there's a breeze blowing.
Yeah. And so when did you move to Riley Street?
I moved to Raleigh Street
Or Riley Edition is what I keep seeing.
Raleigh Edition.
Yep.
I think I lived up there about 2 or 3 years before the tornado came. Back in, I probably lived there in 70, 71, somewhere in there. Moved up there.
And it was in the White House.
Yeah, the White House on the right.
Did you all sell to Billy Hall, or did you get that from Billy Hall, or you sold it to Billy?
I rented it from Billy Hall.
Okay, that's right.
$50 a month.
You were one house away from Sassy and Di.
Yeah, there was a house in between us.
Yep.
Rogers.
Huh?
And that's where.
Miss Fridley, yeah.
And was your house one of the only ones that wasn't disturbed after the tornado?
My house was one of the only ones that wasn't tore down.
That's what to say.
Mine was beat up, but it didn't blow it down like it did a lot of
exterior damage.
Mike Brandenbrook lived up there above the other little house that Mrs. Rogers lived in.
Mm-hmm.
And they got Mrs. Rogers and put her in there with them, and they didn't hurt her house, but it blew that other down.
Oh.
All of them in it.
Oh, my.
Janet, all the kids was in it. You remember Janet Lee and all them?
Yes. Yeah.
And anyway, what were you doing that day?
Well, I happened to be sitting over in Johnny Tate's driveway drinking a beer.
Maxine too.
Huh?
Remember Maxine?
Yeah.
Jane's mom? Yeah.
And so you all were just drinking beer, and you're talking about the little blue house as you go up Calvert Hill on the left, right?
I don't know what color it was.
But it's the one on the left
Yeah,
with
one
the
on the
double.
house.
Yeah.
There. We were sitting there, and there was that garden, you know, that empty field right across from it where they had the garden.
Yeah.
We were sitting there talking, and there was one hail ball about the size of a golf ball hit over and bounced.
No warning?
No warning. I said, John, did you see that? He said, yeah.
Did you think you were drunk?
No, I know that I wasn't drunk. I hadn't drank enough beer to be drunk. I just maybe drank a couple. And
wet your palate.
Yeah, wet your lips a little bit. I said, well, it's kind of looking rough. I better go on around the house here. So I started the truck up and drove around there, pulled in the driveway, went in the house, opened the refrigerator and got me a beer out, and Diane was standing at the back door and she screamed.
Oh, no.
And I run to the back door and that thing was covered over the hill and it blew that barn down up there. Well, we didn't have time to go nowhere. Flopped down right there at the floor. I was laying on top of Vanessa. I had my head out like that because it blew the door open and the door was beating my arm. I thought it was going to break my arm.
Yeah.
And finally it quit.
Were you back there where the bathroom was?
Yeah.
I remember that house. Yeah.
So did it break all the windows?
It broke a lot of the windows out. And had a big 4x4 stuck through the wall. Had straw all blowed in the wall.
Every single interview I've ever done said that the straw come through the walls like darts.
Yeah.
And that it was just unexplainable.
Well,
Did it?
You know, the light fixture, they were stuck under the light fixture between the ceiling and the light fixture.
Yeah. And so you said no warning, so there was no alarm, no siren, no radios going off, no nothing. And so I'm sure at that time it was still volunteer fire department just like it is now. Yeah. And was that the first thing you saw? What was the first thing you saw when you come out?
First thing I saw when I walked out and looked, I seen Bobby Reams' house over at the top tore off of it.
Uh-huh.
His garage was the top tore off of it. Trees down there were. Houses with the roofs blew off of them. And I was just trying to check, see who was okay. And that's when I run into Leonard out there. And he was beat up.
Oh.
But he was holding on to a ground rod that wasn't sticking out of the ground that far, and he had one hand and had a death grip on that thing. Dog under his arm, death grip on there, and then beating him up and down.
I love that you
Yeah.
remember that. And I guess he was tore up pretty bad.
He skinned up pretty bad.
And you know, when I read the reports on who was hurt and who wasn't, he must have never went to get help.
He didn't.
But I saw Uncle Junior was listed with 1 laceration.
Yeah. Right.
Out of everything, I saw that.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't too long after that. Here comes Dudley Manley down the hill with hollering about his grandmama being blown down through the basement. And well, a bunch of us went out there to get her out.
And is that Paul's son or brother or?
Paul's nephew.
Nephew, okay. Yeah. Oh, that's right.
He lives in that white house right on the hill with that.
Okay. Okay. And how long before you could see any? I mean, if they were volunteers, they were probably going to their own homes, right?
Yeah, they was all going through everybody else's around there. And do you remember, Daniel?
I don't remember seeing the volunteers doing nothing.
Well,
I remember us walking in the dark in the rain, walking over the electric lines.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't no volunteers right away because they was checking out their own stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
But later on, that night, I went down to my ones and stayed. Daddy come up there and got us all, and we, like she said, walked over electric lines.
National Guard came the next day.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. Yeah, I had to set the whip in a couple of them because we met them at the end of the road.
So Mom was at the end of Riley Street, and that was obliterated, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's right, the path where it come through.
Yeah,
really?
all 13 of them.
So it come right through the gate right there.
Yeah. But them National Guard guys wasn't going to let me come back in up here. And I told them, I said, I'll whip your ass. I'll whip your ass.
I made it through Vietnam,
I said,
buddy.
you're not stopping me from going up there. I live up there. My stuff is in my building is scattered all over the place up there. And I'm going. They didn't stop me neither.
Yeah. They probably didn't have the energy. It was so bad, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a tree down up there across my truck. My building had blown it down, but I had it crammed full of junk. My lawnmower and plywood. Some of the plywood disappeared and the other didn't.
You just got Vanessa that swing set, it was gone.
Yeah. And the doghouse found it up there under somebody's back porch up
I was about
the
to
street.
say, where was the dog?
He was in the
Your
house,
German
but
Shepherd.
when I was all over and done with, he was outside.
Like nothing happened.
Yeah, I don't know how Duke got out there, but he got outside somewhere.
Now, that night, several people have told me it got very cold.
It got very windy and lightning and.
Miss Purvis said that there was like the light dust of snow. It was so cold.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't have shoes. And, you know, they were all staying with other people whose
I don't
houses.
remember no light dust in the snow.
Well, some people tell me that there was a rain. That's why I ask everybody is, what do you remember?
It was raining. It rained later at night. It come another storm. They said it was a tornado come over us. And if that one had touched down, it'd been worse than the one that hit Stanton.
I think it was sleet. Don't you, Larry?
Huh?
I think it was sleet.
It was probably sleet again. That tornado developed that sleet.
And you said your dad came and picked you all up.
Yeah, he come up here. He come up to the end of the road as far as you could get.
I was going to say, how did he get there?
Well,
you all had to meet him.
He run all the rest of the way. Ralph Knight was with him. Ralph said, I couldn't even keep up that old man.
I've seen his name before, Ralph Knight.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's my uncle.
Yeah, he comes from night. I looked up his night side for him.
Huh?
I told Mom I looked up your night side for you.
Yeah.
He comes from a long line of militant, like, you know, people who served.
I went to school with his son. Robert.
Larry has his granddad was in the Civil War, was a prisoner of war. And then he has another granddad that was, what was it, British British Soldier Medal of Honor, right?
Yeah.
It was incredible. He comes from a long line of people that served all the way back. And from Woodford County. How'd your daddy decide I'm going to go to Stamping Ground?
I don't know. I think they might have moved over here somewhere or another.
Maybe he thought a big fencing, opportunity right here in the middle of everything.
Well, they built all that fence around behind the distillery over there.
Do they really?
That runs up down Wood Lake Road. All that fence used to be there. I didn't know it when I was a kid, but I used to go through that. What they had was a human gate, they called it. It had a post here with a line of fence running to it, and another line of fence running down here, and they'd have a post here and a post here. Well, a cow couldn't go around that opening there, but a person could walk through it
Right.
without climbing the fence. And they had them all around that place.
So kind of just to, instead of it being planted in the ground like a grate that the cattle won't walk on, it was basically just set up upright.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
So he built all that, him and Daddy, when Daddy was real young.
Now, when you were little, the distillery wasn't in operation.
No, it wasn't in operation, but they started back up. I remember them starting back up once. And they made alcohol.
For the war?
No, I don't think it's for the war because there wasn't no war going on. I don't know what it's for.
Because, I just know at one time, Meme was listed as working, for the war. They ran, not liquor, but alcohol for the war. They were the first people to make it without, what am I thinking? They didn't have to have copper. They didn't have to have something. They were the first people. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. But yeah, they were the first people to produce it without some type of metal that it was required of it. I'll have to show you that. But anyway, so it reopened. I was asking because I wondered if you all ever snuck in there in the old distillery.
No.
Like when I was little, people were still sneaking in there,
Yeah, well, we never. Only time I ever in that distillery was Raymond Tackett owned it. And I went over there with Daddy to get a load of copper and stuff for Raymond. That's the only time I ever was in that distillery.
Now you have fonder memories than most that I've interviewed about Raymond. You and I talked about that.
Yeah. Well, Raymond never did do nothing to me.
There you go.
Yeah, and he's always good to me, talked to me. And I've done a lot of work for Raymond.
Mm-hmm.
And
he never owed you nothing.
No.
That's the best kind of work to do.
Yeah, he
when
paid
you get
me
paid.
every time he ever owed me.
And he was very creative about making money, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when he got in it, he owned the stockyards in Lexington. And I guess he done pretty good off that in the tobacco warehouse.
I heard he made that deal for the stockyards over lunch.
I don't know.
Yeah. He had a way with words, is what they said.
Yeah.
Making deals.
Yeah.
He could talk to people and read people.
Well, he had a way. I mean, he was smart. He could run a herd of cattle through a gate, and he'd count them cows before. And he'd count all them cows going through that gate. But you see him standing up on that corner post going like this.
Yeah, there's some people that just have a way about them. Daryl Lyons. Daryl, he was his own person. I don't know if you knew Daryl.
I knew Daryl.
Okay, then you know what I mean. But when he would bring a wagon of hay to Southern States, that we were going to sell or buy off of him to sell, the boys would go unload it. And he'd take a look at it before you leave it. And I know that he probably had one of his boys load it, so he didn't know. He'd count that wagon just by looking at it.
Yeah.
And I'd say, boys, how many was on that so that I could tell Mike so that we could pay him? He'd rattle it right off.
Yeah.
Incredible about some things.
Yeah. Well, Raymond was good at counting cattle. And he could figure in his head before you could do it on paper.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I could probably do this wide by this many, and he'd already have to figure out.
Yeah. Every time you write it down and draw your line, he'd already know what to do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now, Raymond, I known him ever since as a kid. Daddy worked for Raymond, I guess, off and on all our life. And I'd go over there with Raymond, or be around Raymond and Sarah when I was a kid.
Oh,
when we lived on the farm.
Oh, did you all live on his farm?
We lived on, it used to be a house right across the creek over here, and we lived there.
Was that his tenant house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where we had the bathroom in the back out there. And then,
oh, really?
In the North 40.
Aw.
Oh, there's her daddy. I'm talking to Vanessa.
Oh, are you?
And So anyway, so you were in the tenant farm. Well, he had horses, so I bet he kept your daddy in work because you get a bunch of yearlings in there and they're going to gnaw the fence all to pieces.
He didn't have the horses back when we lived on the farm.
Oh, okay.
He didn't get the horses till later.
So was this before he moved to Woodlake or 227, I guess?
Who, Raymond?
Mm-hmm.
No, well, yeah, it was before that.
Okay.
Because I remember going up there and going in that old house.
Mm-hmm.
And we done something. He owned a patch of land across the railroad track over there. I can't remember what we done over there. We went over and done something one time.
This is before he scrapped it all.
Yeah. And, yeah, Raymond made a bunch of money off that road.
Do you remember when Mr. Hawkinsmith fell off his house?
Yeah. Fell through the chimney hole.
Yeah.
Of Raymond's house?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Hawkinsmith fell down the chimney at the one on Woodlake?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. I had
Miss
no
Annie.
idea.
Yeah.
Remember how we used to take care of Miss Annie? I was up there every evening in her swing.
Yeah, he fell right down through the chimney hole.
Yeah.
And was it fatal?
Yeah.
That's horrible. I never heard that before.
Yeah.
Which Hawkinsmith?
He lived right up on Raleigh Street there.
And the big white house.
Okay. I know there's Hawkinsmith off Snavely. That's why I was asking if it was that bunch. We had their account for a long time. I assume they still do, but... So, anyway, he made a killing off the railroad.
Yeah.
And
off the horses.
Mm-hmm. And I heard Dr. Cleveland on his interview, he said that's the first place they went to check on them horses because he had the best year, or I guess maybe it was a colt, I think, that year. And out of everything that was lost, it was that one. He was so tore up over that.
Yeah, he got his neck cut.
Oh, so you know exact horse. Okay.
I seen it laying in the road.
Oh, I bet he cried like a baby.
Yeah, I seen that horse laying in the road. Yeah, Raymond turned down, I think, $20,000.
That's what Dr. I think Dr. Cleveland said. They had it. It was a pick.
Yeah, and they didn't have insurance on it. They lost $20,000 up there. Blew down all the horse barns and backer barns over.
And I guess that's kind of what that's where all that itch started, right?
Yeah.
Growing up with that.
Yeah, you already seen all the splinters in the yard, stakes and splinters. They blew the 8x8 post out of the tobacco barn right down under a tree, like a tree sitting there, and it blew it right in against that tree. And it blew that thing 6 foot in the ground. The reason why I know, we took the tractor and never got it pulled out.
I was going to say, are you the one that fixed all this? Is this how you know?
Pulled it out, and we measured how far that thing was in the ground. It had that tree leaning like that, the big maple tree that big ground.
So it was a whole end post.
It was a whole corner, it was a whole barn post, one of them square barn posts out.
Oh, wow.
Out of the barn. Yeah, he broke down a mess over there.
Dr. Cleveland said that was his ride into town.
Yeah.
He come all the way down here. So when all that was happening, you all went and stayed with your dad, I'm assuming.
We went down there and stayed with Deb, come back up the next day.
And went to assess the situation.
I wasn't going to stay up there and let somebody steal my stuff. They were stealing stuff up there.
That's what I was going to ask you, is I heard you say that your building was all blown down.
Yeah.
Was there people but it wasn't our people, was it?
Yeah. No,
there was looters, people coming in.
Yeah.
That's awful.
They stole a bunch of stuff off George Jenkins out there.
Mr. Jenkins?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He gathered up, he blowed all his stuff down. He gathered up a bunch of tools and I don't know what all, set it out down there. And they looked up and there was some people down there loading it up.
Oh, wow.
And they took off when he hauled them. Yeah, they was in the bathroom in the tub when that thing hit. Ricky Jenkins, Little David, Sybil, and George was in there. And they blowed all of them out of the house, out in the yard. And they never hurt none of them.
Kind of crazy that, like, God was with you all that day.
Yeah.
Because nobody died in that whole storm.
I couldn't believe it. Well, I was on top of Woodlake Hill. I looked up there at the trailer park.
Mm-hmm.
And I I don't know. It might have been Wendell or oh, who was it? I told somebody that I wasn't about to go to that trailer park because there wasn't a trailer left up there. You could look up there and you could see there wasn't no trailers left.
You said Wendell?
Well, I don't remember who it was.
Wendell Green?
No.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I only know one Wendell. Yeah, I think they were letting them over.
Yeah, they do it all the time.
I was looking at that. So the trailer park was obliterated, right?
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't nothing left. Yeah.
And I saw Miss Clemmy Hall across the street from me.
Yeah.
That whole top left of her house was completely gone, but the rest of the house was absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And Miss Purvis, well, it would have been Riddle. Well, I guess she would have been Purvis, but Miss Riddle's house, the pink one.
Yeah.
That it went right beside that too, so it must have went right between, I guess what was the Curtis's and Miss Clemmy Hall's, and then right down the alley that way.
Yeah.
And then must have swung back around to Riley Street.
I know there's what was his name? I said his name a while ago. Robinson, Freddie Robinson's.
Yeah.
His brother lived in a trailer up there beside of the old water tower at school.
Mm-hmm. The concrete one.
Yeah, and he left to go to work and he had either a pickup truck or a car sitting there. And he come back, he had no trailer and he had no car.
Oh my goodness.
It's gone. They never did find it.
They never did find it.
Never found nothing.
You remember my grandfather Thurman having the Airstream trailer out there on Pea Ridge?
Yeah.
He was out there in that.
Was he?
He said,
well,
you know what happened to it? It just flew off.
Yeah, that old
Set the truck with him.
What was his name? Julian Pierce had an old trailer out behind his house. Mm-hmm. And there was an old black guy that used to hang out there and do stuff for him. I don't know what all. But he was in the trailer and it rolled it down the hill.
And Gene Gross. Remember Miss Gross and Gene? Do you remember them?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just now thinking of these people.
He wasn't out there with Julian Pierce's. Gene Gross wasn't.
No.
But they was in that trailer and they blew it over film with Gene Gross. But he used to help your granddaddy dig your grave.
Yeah, he used
Gene
to
Gross
dig graves, yeah. And he used to ride to work with my Aunt Laverne.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we gotta go with Aunt Laverne.
Let's give us we already got one Aunt Frances.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever get to hang out with Aunt Laverne?
Huh?
Did you ever get to hang out with Aunt Laverne?
No, I never did hang out with her. She's a little older now.
Okay. But you got to hang out with Uncle Junior, and they said he's laid out in the tobacco field when it came across. He must have held onto some sticks or some stalks or something.
I don't know what he was doing in the tobacco field.
He didn't do no work.
No,
there
Carlos.
wasn't no tobacco growing.
I know Carla said he was laid out in the tobacco field, and she said that she went over and he finally went inside, I guess, and checked on KDB and Papa Wilson. But that the whole everything around Papa Wilson and Mama Wilson was completely gone. But Papa Wilson was in a hospital bed at the time, and KDB, I guess, used to sit by the door, and that's where they was sitting, and everything else around him was gone. So Bird Street must have been pretty bad.
But that happened in April, and there wasn't no tobacco set in April. You didn't set tobacco until May.
That's what. Well, I didn't think like that, but you're exactly right. But that's what Carla Barnes told me. And she said, I guess she had to go over there and empty a slop or something for KDB, and she said that's why she remembered it.
Yeah.
Maybe he was parked where they.
Huh?
But Uncle Junior, maybe he was just sitting out there. Who knows? He might have just been drinking, sitting where they.
He might have been in the.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it was winter wheat, and he was just sitting there drinking.
He might have been. But I know he sure could drink a fifth of whiskey in a hurry.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
He didn't even feel it burn. He drank it so fast.
He turned that bottle up. We go up to the liquor store, cash a check on Friday night, and he'd buy 2 fifths. Set one of them down in the console, unscrew the top on 1 fifth, and throw the top out the window. Had him a Coca-Cola and a fifth of whiskey. Time we drove from the liquor store up in Lexington, and that liquor store is still there. It's right across the New Circle Road on the left there as you're going down Georgetown Street. drive from there, stamping ground on Raleigh Street. He done drank that pit. He'd be turning the last drink up, driving down Raleigh Street. And I'd buy me a 6-pack. That's the only way to cash check if you buy something. I'd buy me a 6-pack of beer, and I might be drinking my
I was gonna
second
say
beer.
you was a beer drinker.
Huh?
You were a beer
I was a
drinker.
beer drinker.
And so Uncle Junior would drive
Oh, I'd
when
drive.
y'all. Okay, good. Well,
I
the
wasn't gonna
last
ride that
story
thing.
you done rolled, so you done learned once.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna ride him.
Okay. Di told me that Mama Papa Wilson bought him a '57 Chevy. It lasted 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I done been through enough to ride him, and he wasn't about to drive my car. I had a fast car back then anyway.
Oh yeah.
I had a '68 GTX.
Oh
And
wow.
that thing would run.
I bet.
Yeah.
I would hate.
Around there.
I would say, I wonder what that sounded like if you started on it.
Well, it sounded like that old car.
That's what I was saying, the one you described.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this whiskey that he drank, was he a cheap whiskey drinker?
You know, I can't remember what kind of whiskey he did drink.
I was curious when you told me about that last night. I thought, wonder what it was. I bet it wasn't Bland's.
No,
I bet it wasn't Woodford.
No, it's some kind of cheap whiskey.
Yeah.
Probably what?
What is that cheap stuff? Dickles or?
I don't know.
I just wondered if it was Beam. We have a lot of like those old empty Beam canisters and stuff.
I don't remember what it was. Matter of fact, I can't even tell you what kind of beer I drank.
I was gonna say, what kind of beer did you drink?
No, I can't even remember that.
Yeah. Well, and y'all were working at Square D.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people from Stamping Ground that worked there, right?
Yeah, me and Billy Smith worked there.
He's been with you your whole life, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, Billy can tell you a lot of stuff that I can't tell you.
But he knows your whole life story.
Yeah,
There's not a lot of people that you can say that.
No,
he's
the only one left, but just about. Other than my kinfolk, I got Ralph over here, and my aunt lives up in Georgetown.
But sometimes the ones that aren't blood know more.
Yeah. Yeah, Billy knows more on me than Ralph does.
Yeah. Well, and you worked up there, because there probably wasn't very many opportunities down here, unless you was farm labor or...
Yeah. No, I quit here. I went to work. I quit Square D, went to work, construction work, building that plaza that they blowed up and got rid of down there.
Oh, yeah?
I worked on that for about 3 years. So.
That's hard to see go away then.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd outlive a building.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
Huh?
Which one was that? Capitol Plaza?
Yeah.
They did a controlled, yeah.
Common?
Yeah, people lined up.
Yeah, it's all gone now.
People lined up and watched it, didn't they? It was a big deal.
I didn't go watch it.
That's where you graduated.
They imploded that whole thing. Now it's very nice though. What's there now?
But there wasn't nothing wrong with that building.
No, I mean I graduated.
They just wanted it gone so they could spend more money.
Yeah, maybe it was burning a hole in their pocket and they had to spend it by a certain date.
They got rid of the gym down there where you used to play basketball. They got rid of all that, the stadium. Mm-hmm. And they got rid of I think I heard they got rid of the YMCA and stuff down there now.
When you were in school, did you play ball or anything?
No.
Did you do the FFA or the 4-H?
No, they didn't even have FFA up there when I was growing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask, I didn't know, is the tornado, is that what happened to the chapter house?
That thing didn't blow down. They tore it down.
Okay, I remember when I was little that the stone building was there.
Yeah,
but that was
that was FFA building. They had the chapter house beside of the school.
Right.
And I don't know what happened to that building.
That was like a white hardy board. Yeah.
I helped rebuild the school when the top blew off.
When you were little, do you remember there being the cannery?
Yeah.
And up until I did Miss Fanny's interview, I didn't realize that, like, when I can at home, I can with a jar, like a pint or,
they put cans
they had actual cans, like Campbell's soup cans. in different sizes.
Yeah.
And Miss Fanny said that she got real good at the top, so she'd end up getting stuck doing everybody else's lids for them.
Yeah, I remember the cannery being back there.
Yeah, when I thought cannery, I thought, well, it must have been like a bunch of cauldrons everybody could dip at the same time. Like, I didn't know in my imagination.
Yeah.
And she said, no. And I said, well, was it like community? And she was like, no, we didn't have to share. It was you bring what you got and you do your own.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anyway, and I saw there was a creamery, and I'm sure that was gone.
A what?
The creamery.
Creamery.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure that was gone. But Uncle Wallace, he's a little bit older than you, but he delivered milk down in Stamping Ground. Yeah. Do you remember milk being delivered?
No.
You were actually old enough to go buy milk if you needed it.
Yeah.
That's nice. And I was trying to think. There was a poultry yard listed and a meat store listed down here.
No, I don't remember that.
You don't remember the meat store?
Used to be an old picture show down there too.
The Phoenix. Are you talking about like a long time ago?
Yeah.
That's what caught the whole town on fire. The film was dipped in some type of chemical and it lit the whole place on fire. Yeah. And
I think she's got a buddy over.
Yeah. But you all didn't have a show but in Georgetown, right?
Yeah.
And it was off by the bank, right?
Yeah, it's you go up to Broadway,
mm-hmm.
turn right there on the Georgetown Road, and then the Glen is right down there.
That's the one. I couldn't think of the name.
Yeah.
They had other names for it too, though, besides the Glen.
Yeah. We used to go over there and pitch a show, and we'd go across the street to the Blue Room, get us a hamburger, eat that, and go down to the White Flash, get a hamburger.
And the Save-A-Lot was it a Kroger when you were little, or was it Save-A-Lot was a grocery?
We didn't go to no stores in Georgetown, go grocery shopping when I was younger.
Stayed
we
here?
always went to John Howell's store.
Okay. Yeah. And do you remember JW going to get watermelons every week? Yeah. Every picture I find, I send to Vicky, but it's always watermelon related. So he must have really been the man to go to for that kind of thing.
Yeah, and Al P-Rat.
Oh, yeah? Where was that at?
Al P-Rat used to haul in there.
Oh, okay. He was one of the drivers?
Yeah. Not for JW, for his own self.
Oh, okay.
Al had a trailer truck. He'd go to them, man.
Oh, okay. And he would just park and sell them out the back?
Yeah, I don't know how he sold them, where he took them to stores. I remember him hauling them.
Okay.
I remember David P-Rat, me and him going up there and getting the watermelon off his truck.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I bet they weren't seedless then.
No.
Well, speaking of trucks and hauling, I've heard a lot of stories about Roscoe Claxon.
Oh, yeah.
And hauling vehicles here and there. And
hauling fertilizers. I went with him somewhere to get a big load of fertilizer one time.
Did you? Was he as eccentric as everybody says?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And tighter than bark on a tree? Mm-hmm. Was he tighter than bark on a tree?
Oh, yeah.
I bet he packed y'all sandwiches for the ride.
I went down there one time. He had a fireplace going.
Uh-huh.
And he said, "Oh, partner," he said, "throw me a piece of wood on that stove." Well, I went over there, and there wasn't much fire in it. Mm-hmm. I threw the piece of wood in and started throwing another in. He said, "Don't throw it in there." He said, "You're wasting that wood."
He didn't. He probably didn't have nobody go cut it, did he?
I don't know. He had farm hands down there, I'm sure.
Oh, did he? Was this on Cedar Road?
Yeah.
And is he the most eccentric one you remember?
Ever knowed, yeah.
Ever knowed? That's saying a lot here or there.
Yeah.
Because you've been all over the world.
Albert Mitchell is another one.
Who's that? I've never heard that name.
I remember him now.
Really?
I've never heard that name.
Yeah, Albert Mitchell. He was a bird.
I say that. Nobody ever says that.
Yeah.
I always say he's a bird.
Yeah.
Well, where was he at?
Oh, he was around. He lived in different places.
Oh, he didn't just like have a home place.
He wouldn't have plenty of money like Roscoe did. He was more of a bum than he was anything. He worked. but he didn't bathe.
Was he one of those that got by, and he got by getting by? You
Yeah,
didn't know
yeah,
how?
I think my papa helped him sometimes.
Vince?
I can't. Well, he worked for for Thurman sometimes, every now and then.
Huh, I don't know.
Yeah, I see lots of pictures of Popo and cars and Pea Ridge. I think they worked on some things out there on Pea Ridge.
I remember Red Riley out there.
That's what I was going to say. I have a picture. And see, Popo had a little brother named Glover Wiley. I asked you about him.
I've heard of Glover Riley, but I didn't know.
And so there was quite an age difference there, and I think he had a lot of influence on him.
Yeah. Are you cold?
It's just because I'm used to living at 80-some degrees.
Yeah.
I'm good.
No.
I'm a little bit cool myself. I want a doctor in stove, but.
No, I can do that.
Okay.
I like to do it.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, have at it.
All right, I got you. I'm not going to waste wood, though.
Yeah, he could be like Roscoe. That's too much.
Okay, now I want to tell you about this stove.
What do
If
you
you
want
put it over on the left, it'll smoke. Don't put it on the left.
All right. There we go.
I don't know why it does.
Huh.
It draws to one side.
Yeah.
And you put them Chris Oak bars in there, right?
Huh?
Don't you put those Chris Oak bars in there every now and then to clean it?
No.
You need to buy your Chris Oak bars. Is that okay? Oh, okay. Yeah, cleans it out for you. All you gotta do is burn it.
Out of everybody in our little community, who influenced you the most?
Who influenced me the most?
I know that's a big question. I got time.
I don't know. I don't know whether anybody influenced me the most or not. I guess my daddy.
Yeah, he taught you how to make a living and work hard, didn't he?
Yeah.
And other than him, you really did speak so fond of Raymond Tackett.
Yeah.
And as a role model.
Paul.
Yeah. And
His see, I was supposed to went to the hospital in Washington D.C. when I left over there.
Japan.
Yeah, when I left Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Walter Reed.
Okay.
I was supposed to went there, and that's where Ramona lived up there. And they was going to get me to stay with them some while I was up there. But something happened, and my records got shipped there, and I got shipped to Fort Sam Houston in Texas.
Uh-huh.
So made a mockery out of that. I went in down there and checked in the hospital in Texas, and they didn't know what I was there for.
They were like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
Somebody put you on the wrong flight?
Yeah, put me on, changed the orders, sent all my records to one place and sent me another.
Oh, Lord. What's probably the biggest lesson you've ever learned?
Keep your head down.
That's right. Stay humble.
Keep your head down.
Uh-huh.
Where you going? You going to go out? You going? No, I don't think so.
If you could go back to any age, what would it be? Any age, any number.
Any age?
Uh-huh.
I'd have to talk about that, but probably 18, 17.
You'd go through Vietnam all over again.
Yeah, I'd be a whole lot smarter.
You'd know what to dodge. To run from the gate when you tell somebody not to touch it, not to watch out for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what not to do.
Yeah.
What to do.
What's that, baby? Can I let him out?
Yeah.
Come on.
What's the best advice anybody's ever gave you? Or what would be your best advice to give somebody? Back to keep your head down?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Or don't have weak moments?
My best advice I'd give somebody is not to get married.
I said don't have weak moments, right?
What do you say?
Don't have weak moments.
Get married?
Yep.
Amen.
What are you most proud of in your whole life?
I don't know.
It's a big question.
Yeah. I guess it'd be Vanessa. She's the only one that I've got that turned out. Yeah.
Ugh. That is amazing interview. A lot of people don't have many people left.
Yeah, well, like I said, I got 2 in the cemetery. I got more in the cemetery than I got on the ground. 2 kids up there. My mom and daddy and my sister. And then all my other relatives. My granddaddy and all them was up there. The rest of them's over in Versailles Cemetery.
We learned a whole lot, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
You have quite the family over there in Versailles. Some really old stones.
Yeah.
Quite a legacy. Is there anything that you think that I should know that I've left out that I didn't ask?
I probably could think of something afterwards.
Well, to make a list, because Vanessa wants to come back out here and meet Channing.
She does.
Yeah, I just been talking to her, except I didn't tell her that.
Yeah, I've had quite a life.
You have.
I've had people tell me I ought to write a book.
Well,
All the ins and outs I've been in. I've been in a bunch you don't know about.
yeah, we could do volumes on you. You have so many stories, but this story will be in the University of Kentucky long after I'm gone.
He will.
Uh-huh.
They inducted her into it.
But this project is really important to me, and I think that you understand that because you've seen the changes of Stamping Ground before and after. And I think you have to preserve things or write them down or orally record them so that people long after us will know. I mean, I would have never known where to go buy bootleg liquor because nobody admitted that.
Doug Young out there used to bootleg out there on Stonetown Road.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And so he must have been Lawrence Young in the same family?
Yeah. That number right there, write that down. That's Billy Smith's number.
Okay, I'll take a picture.
And I told him he's going to call him. He said he talked to him.
I will.
You remember the big bootleggers in Georgetown on
Oh,
South Hamilton?
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boston?
I got
it. Well, when I did the wet dry election, they came out.
On Stamping Ground.
Yeah.
He lived down there about where the old drugstore is.
Uh-huh.
And he had an old house, a stone house, a shotgun house.
Uh-huh.
I think he had 2 rooms in it.
Yep.
And he lived there. I go down there with Daddy, old hermit, you know. I went to all of them Daddy. I could buy whiskey all those Stamping Ground goods anybody could.
Yeah.
I remember I was talking to my girlfriend the other day. I remember when I was little, you and I were talking that you could walk to school and it wasn't just 4 houses away like my kids.
Right.
And when I was little, I told you we'd walk to Paula's, the video shop next door, but Nenny would send me with a list to go walk up to the grocery from Riley Street, up there where it is now.
Yeah.
That's the only grocery I've known in my life here. But I do remember True Value when I was little. Yeah. Do you remember that? Yeah. And Di and Papa both hated to take me there because they had toys in that True Value.
Yeah. But Vanessa works up there.
But at the grocery, I could buy cigarettes for Nenny. That'd be on her list.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. Right. They knew I wasn't smoking. And there was a tab. And that was something I was going to ask you. Do you remember? You would have tabs everywhere. You could put your name down. And you could owe. And you pay it. Like next time. They always kept tabs. And Southern States is like the last place I knew. I mean, you get a bill.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, you would have a line.
Then he used to charge his groceries there at John Hall's store.
On a credit like that? Yeah.
And then when he sold his tobacco crop, he'd go pay it off.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I know we'd eat the whole year for $500.
Really?
And eat good. You can't go to the grocery store twice. That's
I was going to say, I go and it's at least $300 maybe every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
She coupons it and deals it.
Growing up, did y'all have hogs or anything to where you saved a little bit?
Yeah, we had hogs over here, granddaddies. Had beef. We raised beef every now and then. We didn't have them every year, but we had
Right.
And
chickens.
Didn't have many chickens.
I'm not a big chicken fan.
Yeah, I didn't like stepping in that chicken shit all the time.
That's my problem is Mom said, let's get some chickens for the kids. My thing is them eggs, they don't come out clean.
No.
And I ain't about that.
I hated to get that up between my toes.
Yeah. And the ones that they forget and they leave.
Yeah.
What loves those? I don't want those either.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, I didn't know if there was anything else that I left out that you'd want everybody to know. But you have lived quite a life.
Yeah. I've been around the block a time or two.
Yeah, I don't know one that you haven't hit.
Yeah. Yeah. I was in Korea, Vietnam, Japan, Okinawa, Philippines. I visited all them foreign countries.
Do you like that song, I've Been Everywhere,
I've been everywhere. Well, we did move to California. I didn't tell you about that.
Okay.
We moved to California when I was in the 2nd grade. And we lived out there for 2 years in L.A., Burbank.
Remember, I found your grandmother out there, but it must have been, was it the same time period?
Yeah, about the same time.
Okay.
And they were just building Disneyland out there.
She was in North Hollywood. That's where she's at.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stamping grounds in North Hollywood.
Yeah.
How about
and
that?
all them kids out there. Of course, I talked that hillbilly language, and they want me to talk all the time so they can hear me talk.
They call me hillbilly down where I live.
Yeah. Well, but there's a lot of them out there. Back when I was out there wasn't hardly there. And I talked that old hillbilly slang. And they'd say something. I never would get it. Say something. And I'd say something, and they just laugh. Like it's the biggest deal. I couldn't figure out what's so funny. Yeah.
You went all the way through school, though, didn't you?
I dropped out of school. I didn't graduate.
What year did you stop?
It was about the 10th.
Well, most people it's 5th or 8th grade, so you outdid most.
Yeah.
Boys were the worst about it.
Yeah, I always remember you wearing a ball cap. I can't believe your hair's still so thick.
Yeah.
You have always worn a ball cap.
Yeah. Yeah, and my hair used to be black all across the top and around here. And it turned gray all down here where that boy had ball cap.
Yeah.
Did your daddy have hair?
Huh?
Did your daddy have hair?
Yeah. Yeah, he's in a picture over there.
I think that comes from your mom's dad. That's why I was asking. So you got blessed on both sides, I guess.
Yeah, well, Mama had a thick head of hair too. She died at 82 and had thicker hair than I got right now.
When did you get your tattoo?
When I was in the Army, I got them in Tacoma, Washington.
You did it before you left out of Washington?
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I hadn't got them. I mean, I didn't think I was going to live to get out of Vietnam anyway. Because I know what a mess I was getting into.
Yeah, you told me it set in quick.
So.
I just wondered if somebody did them while y'all were over there, though.
No, done them in Tacoma, Washington. And.
Has anybody got one that matches? Did anybody have a matching one?
My stepson's got one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Looks just like him.
That's neat. Well, you earned that Purple Heart.
I think I did.
I'm pretty sure you did. I don't think they gave those away like Valentine's Day cards.
Well, you see that scar right there, don't you?
Yeah.
You see that vein running right there?
Yes, I do.
That's how close you come to kill me.
Yeah.
Then I got a hole here. And
do you have shrapnel?
A hole there and a hole here.
Do you have shrapnel in you?
Yeah. Got a piece in my lung.
when Papa had it in his leg.
Yeah.
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 Vanessa bring the kids down much?
Bony thing.
Yeah. Oh, Vanessa's so little.
Yeah. I can think back on my life, boy, I'm telling you. I don't know how I lived through some of it. You can ask Billy Smith about that car we rode. He can tell you about that.
Yeah. That's why I asked who was driving with Uncle Junior.
Now,
You should have known he wasn't going to let him that way.
that was Alan Martin.
Goodness gracious.
I don't know what made him ever think he could do that, because he couldn't drive worth a damn anyway.
One last thing. Do you think that Stamping Ground has, before the tornado, do you think it was a closer community or after?
I think it might have been closer right afterwards for a while. But I think that's all gone now. I don't think it's close no more. Too many people got up there, and all the people died that used to be around. So I don't hardly know nobody lives in Stamping Ground anymore. All your people that lived up there is all gone or dead.
Right, they're gone. It ain't because they moved away.
Yeah. Well, your mama moved away.
Yeah,
But I'm talking about all the rest of them.
right.
They all dead.
Right.
Well, Wallace is living.
Yeah, I got Uncle Wallace, and then I've got Di, but Di's in Lexington, Leonard.
Yeah, Leonard.
But he would be back here in a heartbeat. But real estate's unreal. The house across the street went for $500,000.
It did.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's incredible market out there. So I think it makes it hard if you regret moving away to come back.
Yeah. Did you tell Leonard? Did you talk to me?
I told him I was coming.
Yeah.
And I told him this story about the tornado. And I said, I never heard nobody else other than, Mom and him. And I said, I never really was sure about the whole dog part of it. And I said, Larry told me there you were standing with the dog. And that you said Sassy locked you out.
He was stuck in the rose bush holding on to the rod.
I hear you.
He was holding on to the rod.
Holding on to the rod.
He was on the ground rod.
Tore all up, remember?
Yeah, he skin all up.
He had told me.
On the head.
He told me it was a satellite thing, and then I told him that you said it was a rod, and he said no, he was right. That was a rod.
Yeah.
So his memory was a little different.
Where the antennas?
But anyway, well, I want to thank you for letting me record.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
If I think of anything else, I'll let you know. You be sure to call Billy.
We'll do part 2. Yeah, we have to.
You call Billy.